Do you suffer from blood sugar issues? Did you know that there are 4 types of diabetes? I'm Dr. John Bartemus, and I'm putting the pieces together to help you live a life at optimal. Type 1 diabetes is autoimmune diabetes. This is the diabetes that historically or typically is discovered in childhood and requires insulin. It used to be thought of as being genetic, but what it really is autoimmune. And research shows that the earlier you expose a child to cow milk, the higher the risk of type 1 diabetes, because the cow milk proteins are cross-reactive with the beta cells of the pancreas. And so if your immune system responds to the cow's milk proteins, it may also respond against your pancreatic islets or beta cells, and you could develop type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is adult onset diabetes classically. This is lifestyle based and lived into. The spectrum is insulin resistance, prediabetes, type 2 diabetes. Type 3 diabetes is Alzheimer's disease. It is diabetes of the brain, and insulin resistance of the brain, diabetes of the brain. Your brain is no longer able to use glucose as a fuel, and so you develop neurodegeneration. And Dr. Mary Newport has discovered that coconut oil or ketones as an alternate source of fuel for the brain in Alzheimer's or in type 3 diabetes has helped slow the progress of the disease and even reverse it in certain people. And then the 4th class of diabetes is called type 1.5 diabetes, and this is latent autoimmune diabetes of adulthood, or LADA for short. And research shows that up to 20% of type 2 diabetics are misdiagnosed type 1.5 diabetics, meaning they present as a type 2 diabetic, but they regress to a type 1 and eventually need insulin, and this is really 1.5 and autoimmune as well. So in order to determine what type is going on, the type 1 and the 1.5 diabetes will have antibodies against various tissues. So if you are a type 2 diabetic and your blood sugar control is not improving with metformin or Invokana or other medications that they're trying, and you're ending up needing insulin, you should ask your doctor to run antibodies against islet cells, against insulin, against zinc transporter 8, against GAD65, IA2 antibodies. Those are the different antibodies that show what's going on and if it's autoimmune, and the more antibodies that are positive, the higher the risk that you will develop diabetes in the next 5 to 10 years if you don't have it already, or the more aggressive the autoimmune diabetes is.